but it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma,
my brother,
my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part,
so that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
If you're drunk, blasted,
intoxicated,
rip, plastered, destroyed, brah. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Your engine performance with Napa full synthetic engine oil. In my final preseason power rankings, Arizona top seed.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows.
D in the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bach.
On the eve of opening day. I like, we get all these firsts right about now, right? You had your 0 week and you had your taste. You had like the Hall of Fame game and it was your first game for the NFL. And then you had 0 week in the college football. So you got some games. And then last weekend was kind of, okay, that first, mass smorgasbord buffet of games. Tomorrow night's when you get to start playing fantasy football. Right? Tomorrow night's when all those drafts you had and all that, all those JJ podcasts you listen to, 3 guys on fantasy football, when it all comes to fruition and you realize, my team sucks. Good morning to you. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, how you living? All right, back there? That button? Somebody messes with your board all the time, huh?
It's just, you'd assume, because everything is good except that one.
Is it the same one every time?
It is.
You got to have a talk with someone?
No, I think
you're kind of a veteran around here, aren't you?
To not assume.
Yeah.
Thinks you're good to go.
All right. You all right? How you living?
Good.
All right, then.
You mentioned fantasy football. Yeah. It starts, and one of my favorite traditions of fantasy football season is you complete the draft, and if you have the opportunity to do a live draft with your friends, you stand there for 2 hours after you complete the draft and contemplate how you just messed it up.
Yeah, and I was just showing you. We had a live. So we had an auction draft last night, and I've been in this league for a while. It's one of those where you throw out a guy. Okay, you go Justin Herbert, $3, $5, 10, 6, 11, 12. Right, and so the last bunch of years we've gone automated, and of course a few guys showed up without a computer. So we did a live draft. So everything's not inputted yet into the commissioner's got to like physically input everything in. But as I was telling you last night, yeah, I screwed it up. I know where I screwed it up. But nobody cares about your fantasy football team. They care about theirs. But they kind of do because they like to hear opinions. We also elicit opinions all the time. And I think we solicit them until we get one that confirms where we want to lean. Don't you think?
100%.
Right? So you're saying, all right, who should I play between these two guys? And JJ will tell him, and he's like, really? Jeff, what do you think? I mean, the other way. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, right. And you keep going until you kind of get a little affirmation of where you want to go.
Yeah, you probably have like your 4 or 5 sites you hit, and then you find that one. You're like, I like these rankings.
Yeah, these guys finally know what they're talking about. Those other 18 don't. They're all wrong on their rankings. And then you go and you're like, oh, well. But you get to go. We got so much today. Want to open it up. Are we going through? So you printed these. Are we going to go through these win totals in the NFL and pick them all?
I wasn't planning on picking them all, but I thought it was good fodder for some of the stories on the rundown. Disgusting expectations.
It is. You know what might be fun with this? Because if you went to Vegas, you wouldn't lay money on every one of these. But what if at 9 o'clock, you and I pick our like if you were in Vegas and you were going to bet 5 of them? Is that a good number? There's 32 NFL teams. Or you want to go 7? Like let's each pick 7 and see at the end of the season how we do. All right. And we got all the win totals from, Kansas City is the top in Vegas win totals at 11.5. Patriots, Broncos, Panthers are the bottom at 4.5. And so at 9 o'clock, JJ and I will each pick 7, and we'll hold them till the end of the year and see how we do and realize how bad we are and why we don't bet a lot. Right. And I guess on Friday, we'll do the 3 for all. And get into it on the weekend games. But, yeah, we'll do that. And if you want to go play along, and we'll give you a bunch of these numbers as we go through. Packers 8.5. There's some really interesting ones. And usually, Vegas is right on the number. I mean, right, hovering around the number. Tampa Bay 6.5. I mean, so many of them feel low to me, don't they? And then you start looking, well, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of teams right around 500.
And we're kind of retraining our mind, too.
17 games.
17 games,
yeah.
So I'm factoring 8-8. Is 7-9 the new 8-8, or is it 9-8?
Yeah. Or yeah. Is 8-7. No, wait, what is it? 9-8. Yeah, 9-8. All right. Where are we holdout-wise? Where are we player-wise? Where are we? Who's playing, who's not playing? As we sit here on Wednesday with a game tomorrow, which will be Baltimore and Kansas City. That's an NBC game. Is the Friday night game only Peacock? Really? How do I find that?
That might be easier to find than ESPN on DirecTV.
Fair enough. But if I go to my local watering hole, do they have Peacock or do they have...
Most were streaming games on Peacock.
All right.
That's, of course...
Right.
I think there's a lot of business owners right now that are definitely going to figure out something for this weekend.
Yeah.
Because I know I was
the trial
at an establishment Monday, and we're like, oh, yeah, some college football. And they're like, yeah, we can't watch it. I'm like, okay.
Oh, because they had DirecTV.
Yeah.
I got to believe DirecTV and ESPN figure this thing out like by the weekend, right? I mean, all the college football games that are on DirecTV and all the subscribers are DirecTV. And I mean, when you start thinking all the SEC games are on, well, not all of them, but a big package of SEC games, right?
They're
ACC.
not talking like it.
I know they're not. No, look, and I
actually had this down this morning. DirecTV CFO Ryan Carpenter said, quote, "This is not the run-of-the-mill carrier fight."
Yeah, and I mean, again, full disclosure, I work for ESPN, and I got the ESPN email, the employee email yesterday, and explaining their side of it as well, and basically they're just saying we're not going to devalue our product. This isn't just about ESPN; it's Disney Channel and all of the Disney.
And of course, it happens now because that's where pressure comes in on both sides. They're not going to worry about losing Sunday Night Baseball.
Well, it's got to be where
July.
Where the contract
now.
Is,
but then it's also, well, you're not getting our football inventory. What are you going to do with that now?
Who do you think? Well, I don't want to say who ends up winning. And again, I obviously have a side in this fight, so it's probably not right for me. But as a subscriber, are you more apt to say, well, bleep ESPN, or are you just saying, dude, I need my content. I'm going to bounce from DirecTV and go where I can get my content?
I think there's a lot of that in general.
Isn't it?
People's attitudes of bleep ESPN overall.
Okay, so would you rather you're an Alabama fan, you're a Texas fan, your game's on ESPN,
and a lot of that it comes down to what you have available. Like,
if you have Plus, you get the games.
No,
you don't.
Mm-mm.
So if I subscribe, pay for Plus, ESPN Plus, I don't get the games.
I think so.
Wow. All right then, I should probably figure that out.
Yeah, double check that. I'm not 100% sure, but I would assume that would probably somehow factor in because you have to subscribe.
Well,
like
but you're paying a separate
well,
subscription
separate,
price for
no.
Plus. You're paying the $5.99 or $8.99 or whatever.
Yeah, then you're fine.
Yeah,
you should be fine because that's a separate subscription
right.
as opposed to if you're logging in through your direct TV account.
Yeah. All right, who's not playing as we sit here right now? Jamar Chase is really the only one, correct, that we're looking at and saying, is he still holding out? He was at practice again yesterday, but did not participate in padded drills. The Cincinnati Bengals wideout, who I believe probably does not have any leverage. He is in the third year of his rookie deal, which is a 5-year deal, which is different than the other guys who gone for it. And I think the Bengals are saying, look, man, those other guys that got paid, yeah, they all went through their 4 years. We're not doing this for you. We're not, because basically, JJ, if Jamar Chase gets his new deal, it kind of resets the precedent, doesn't it? Rookies who are in a position, and granted, there are few of the Jamar Chases, but there are enough that I don't think ownership wants to reset precedent that they're going to redo rookie deals after the third year or in the third year.
No, they won't. And if the players' union wants to change the structure of rookie contracts. The first rounders get guaranteed money with a fifth-year team option, which it sounds good because maybe you're not an elite rookie, but you're able to stick around for a little while, get your deal because you're a first-round pick. But that's the only way it would change because there's not an owner. There's one owner that pissed everyone off, and that was
Cleveland.
Yeah. Giving Deshaun Watson a fully guaranteed contract. But you're definitely not going to see the Bengals owner do that, and then they're not going to want to see first-round picks signed just after 3 years.
Yeah, I think that's right. And so that said, we're in concurrence on that, or we're in agreement on that. I'm sorry. Does Jamar Chase play this weekend without a deal? He's going to play at some point without a new deal. He's got a contract. He got a bonus. He's only set to make about $1 million, a little over $1 million this year, because he got so much of his money up front. So do you believe he plays? I believe he plays this season. I believe he plays this month. I'm not certain I believe he plays this week.
I wouldn't be confident of him playing this week unless he shows up today and practices. Because it's one thing when you were talking about, Ayuk and Lamb, and they got it done, and there's, week, 2 weeks of full football activity. This dude has just been hanging around, not doing anything. And yeah, it's Jamar Chase. But even if he shows up, I would even expect a limited week 1 role for him if he walks onto the practice field and actually participates today.
Yeah, I think that's right. Meanwhile, in San Francisco, the 40-day holdout of Trent Williams is over. Their left tackle restructured a 3-year, $82.66 million deal. He got a $48 million signing bonus. So he signed his name yesterday, and they funneled what was left after taxes of $48 million into his account. A $25.69 million signing bonus, but he got $48 million of bonus. League high $27.65 million, which leads offensive linemen. So that's good for them. Brandon Ayuk, I want to get into the Brandon Ayuk story when we get back. And he talked a little bit yesterday about his holdout and how he did it, why he did it, what he did, the way he did it, because I think that was, it became uncomfortable for everybody. It became annoying for many. And it was highly imperfect, but he got to a place where I think he's relatively comfortable, and we'll talk about that. Let me give you phone numbers to get in today. 505-246-0610. If you go ahead and make predictions today. If you want to hit Super Bowls, you want to pick win total, whatever it is. Season starts tomorrow. We are on the eve of the NFL. If you want to ask JJ a fantasy football question, you probably should check out his podcast. It's
Three Dudes Fantasy Football Show on YouTube.
Yep, find it. It's actually really, really good, and you'll make that a weekly resource for you. But the number is 505-246-0610. Email, that's the phone line and text line. Email's Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com. JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. JJ's on the X. It's _JJ Buck. On the Facebook, it's the OD in the AM. Adrian is produced on ProView Networks today, as he is most mornings, and you can watch the show Xfinity Channel 26 throughout the state of New Mexico. It's on our Facebook page, the OD in the AM, and of course on the YouTube channel for ProView Network. So when we get back, a little Brandon Ayuk, why he made it uncomfortable or difficult in his words, and but they ultimately got to where they are, and a bunch more to start your NFL season. Hey, who watches your home when you're not there? Like, is it the good guys or the bad guys? And you know the bad guys are out there in big numbers. Get the good guys on your side. I have had IPS on my side for a lot of years. International Protective Service is private security that is affordable, that puts an extra set of eyes on your home, on your business, and gives you a sense of security, but gives you a layer of security. Look, bad guys don't care. They just want to steal something. They don't care how hard you've worked. They just want to get in there. IPS has officers strategically placed around Albuquerque and now in Santa Fe, and they're there quickly. They catch criminals in the act. They detain them for the police to come pick them up. IPS provides standing guards. If you need eyes on your property around the clock, they'll install alarms, camera systems. They got a state-of-the-art facility. They monitor all that 24/7, and it raises the level of security around your business. So, again, who's watching your home, your business when you're away? Don't let it be the bad guys. A quick response to your alarm or standing guards at your business, it's what IPS does. You'll sleep better at night. I understand you can't prevent all the crime, but if you have no protection, you're more likely to be victimized. The number is 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. Passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live and work.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen here. Join me.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma.
My brother.
My tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their...
All right, what's your favorite game on the schedule this weekend, too? I mean, it's hard to not love a bunch of them. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Your NFL season starts tomorrow. I mean, that could be your favorite game of the week. The Ravens and Chiefs rematch of the AFC Championship. Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. I look, if that's your favorite game, that's good. Or you could like the Brazil game. Packers and Eagles, Jordan Love, Jalen Hurts. There's a lot of other good ones, though, man. There's a lot of good stuff. Texans, Colts is interesting. Jaguars, Dolphins is interesting. I think Broncos, Seahawks is interesting. Certainly Cowboys, Browns. That'll be Tom Brady's first game.
The one thing about the NFL,
yeah,
is there's an interesting line to every game.
I think the Rams Lions on Sunday night.
I think that's awesome.
That's
a 1 point playoff loss for Matthew Stafford and the Rams,
and he's going back
last year, going back to Detroit. There's never been this kind of hype surrounding the Detroit Lions.
Nope, that's the highest over/under total on the board, 50.5. So they expect points to the Rams and Lions game. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck, 505-246-0610. Brandon Ayuk is in camp, is in. I mean, it's not camp anymore, right? He's in the building. He's there for the San Francisco 49ers. But he was the story all summer. I mean, it was the loudest holdout. And he admits that he made negotiations a bit more difficult than they should have been at the end. Last week at this time, 49ers, their general manager, John Lynch, their head coach, Kyle Shanahan, were frustrated. And they were visibly frustrated, right? I mean, he wasn't signed yet, and they were frustrated. And then they signed it, and yesterday he had his 4-year, $120 million extension done, and he was wearing his 49er shirt, and he was smiling. And he said, quote, "I'm not going to lie, I made it a bit more difficult than I needed to at the end. For about the past month, I think we were pretty good," end quote. And you're like, well, then why, man? Like it reinforces everything that we were talking about, that he was dragging things out, that there were all these reports, JJ, that he had to choose between the 49ers and whatever the Steelers were presenting, right? And ultimately, he decided he wanted to stay with the Niners, and he took the extension that included $76 million in guaranteed money and made him the sixth receiver who's now making $30 million annually. And quote from Ayuk again, "I just had a feel that I wanted, not just in terms of money, but in all those things. Ultimately, I wanted to be here. I ended up being here, so I'm happy and ready to go," end quote. And what the hell did he just say? Like basically what I'm hearing is, I loved the spotlight and I didn't want to go to training camp. And I wanted to get paid, and I knew I was going to get paid. That's what I heard.
Yes. And he definitely made it more difficult than the 49ers, not just because of the holdout, but because he requested a trade. The Niners put trade packages together.
Yep.
He's like, "No, I'm good."
Yep. Yeah.
Then why did you request a trade?
A squeaky wheel has to be silent sometimes and know when to squeak. I was just finding that whole balance, end quote. Again, what? What were you being squeaky about? Why did you feel you needed to be squeaky? During the whole hold-in, he attended meetings. He didn't practice. On Tuesday, which was yesterday, he said it was strange to be there for everything else and watch his teammates go out and practice without joining them. Quote, that was probably the hardest part about the whole thing. Just because at that point, you got the rest of the team involved. I'm here every single day. They're suiting up and ready to go out to practice, and I'm not. It was a little awkward, but I think it worked out how it needed to. Yeah, you got paid. I don't know, man. So I'm sitting next to him, and this I'm listening to him basically saying, yeah, I played a big game. I mean, is that what you're hearing? I played a game. I made it more difficult. I didn't want to go. I knew I was going to get paid. This was on the table for a month. I just didn't want to deal with training camp.
It sounds like he was trying to say, I was playing the game and I played the 49ers because I was going to be traded. I made them think they were going to trade me. And then I was like, no, that's not good enough. You got to give me more money. John Lynch, just like,
yeah,
really, man. Of all the things you got to deal with. If you want to hold out, just hold out. But having John Lynch and company negotiate and agree to trade with multiple teams,
yep,
and you never had interest in that,
yep, yeah, we're on the same page, man. And look, now there's pressure on them, and he acknowledged that there's pressure on him. Quote, but that's the reason I'm going to get paid in such a manner, because that's the type of player I believe I am, and that's the player I want to continue to be, and that's the player that I strive to be. I think it's more so putting pressure on myself, end quote. Look, of all these guys that got $30 million contracts, so I'm looking at Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Brandon Ayuk, C.D. Lamb. There's two more, right? Who else am I missing? AJ Brown, and one more. One or two of them are not going to live up to this, and I'm going to put him at the top of my probability list on that. Right? I mean, just the numbers tell you that not everybody will live up to this.
Brandon Ayuk's a good receiver. He's not on my list of top first tier wide receivers.
When he came up into your fantasy draft, you'd want him? I mean, if he'd have slipped, you would have taken him,
yeah,
right?
There's always value for players in fantasy football, but he was not someone that I was actively targeting in multiple leagues.
All right. Broncos are your team. And whoever, as you're listening to this, whomever your team is, you're a Steelers fan, you're a Browns fan. All right, well, let's Steelers and Browns. We're two of the teams, right? Did you want him?
I think Brandon Ayuk, the answer to that is yes if you're the Steelers.
Okay.
Because they desperately need playmakers.
Yeah, they do. They do. And look, I think he's...
And that one, and that's a team that it would have made sense. Because there's... For all of these, the balance, yeah, there's money there. Like they're playing nothing for quarterbacks. Yeah, you have an opportunity to pay up, bring a wide receiver in like that. The one that was fascinating to me is Cleveland, because I think the Browns are better with Amari Cooper for 2 years than Brandon Ayuk for 5.
Where do you put Amari Cooper in this? He almost feels to me like the lost, really good receiver.
Yes. He's just steady, consistently good.
And I guess it depends on quarterback play, but you look at receivers all around the league like, well, Malik Neighbors is going to be great. Well, yeah, but, I mean, if he gets good quarterback play, he will be, right? Devontae Adams is great. Yeah, if he gets good quarterback play from Gardner Minshew, he will be, right? Drake London is really good. Yeah, if Kirk Cousins is the guy, right? And so, yeah, it all depends on quarterback play. Tell me why Amari Cooper... Is it because the Cowboys traded him when they got C.D. Lamb? Is it a perception?
The Browns are still kind of out of sight, out of mind.
Even though they were a playoff team last year.
The last few years.
Yeah.
I think he in Dallas, he had 2 average years. And for Cowboy fans, they thought he was overrated.
Okay.
I think that narrative stuck with him.
Do you agree with the narrative?
No.
I don't think
I think Amari Cooper is as solid as you're going to get. Because you look at the last 2 years in Cleveland, with giant question marks at the quarterback position. And what hurts you the most is your reception totals, but still he eclipsed 1,000 yards each season. Consistent quarterback play. This dude should be 80 to 90 receptions in a season. Hasn't really had that in Cleveland the last 2 years.
Yeah. Now, I think he's kind of sneaky.
He's solid.
And if everything's on Deshaun Watson this year, right? There's if we go into this, what quarterbacks? It's a show me year. Now for him, because the money's guaranteed, it's not as show me as some others, right? Like what you're dealing with both those guys in Pittsburgh, or what you're dealing with Derek Carr, or what you're dealing with Daniel Jones, right? But I mean, at some point, if he doesn't become that dude, the Browns are going to say, whatever, we're going to just have to eat the money and move on. I mean, they've got an elite defense. They've got really good pieces everywhere. At some point, if they get good quarterback play, I think he's spectacular. But I mean, we'll watch it and play it out. All right, 505-246-0610. 888-922-0610. You guys are telling me how to get Peacock, which I appreciate. You're in on the emails, Jeff@sportsanimalabq.com, with all kinds of good stuff. When we get back, I want to get into a little Lobo football and break down some of the big plays and how they cut that in half defensively with the week off and Auburn coming. And the poll came out yesterday, the big movers and what some of that means. And we got a big game this week where game day's going and how much fun that could be on Saturday morning. 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
For almost 55 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated,
Rip,
plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this,
you shouldn't be driving.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
if you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated,
Rip,
plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this,
you shouldn't be driving.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, refractive lens exchange. the latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures.
Money today and versus 40 years ago. What, not just athletes, but those in sports are getting paid now. I don't know that I've got a full dollar-to-dollar comparison and what a dollar means now as it compared to 1974 or something. But I this one's going to make you scratch your head a little bit. 505-246-0610. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Glad you're with us in the opening drive. Edward, good morning. Happy NFL Eve. How you living?
I'm living like it's almost Thanksgiving.
Almost.
Speaking of dollars, Crusher may have to reinvigorate the 5-star picks this year, because for the people of the 505 and the 575, I not only want them to be successful, but I want to line their pockets with a little bit of change. So I usually let the season kind of percolate and coagulate, get a feel for it. They may be unleashed by week 3 or 4 of the NFL season. I used to really look forward to the start of the NFL season, and opening Thursday night was a rite of passage for the New England Patriots for about 2 decades. And I've overtly stated we're going to be the worst team in the league. I think they should fire Mayo today, but we've talked about that. They should fire Mayo today. Their offensive line is trash. They've made all the wrong decisions, starting with not tanking last year for Caleb Williams. For some reason, they decided to beat Denver on Thursday night. I'm just over it, right? But I hope they lose every game. And I'm a true fan since 1978. Anyway, what story? The NFL. We must never forget that the NFL is registered as a entertainment entity.
Correct.
It is registered as an entertainment. Remember that. I tell my friends that what I've seen over the last 5 or 6 or 7 years, I feel like I'm watching an extension of college football on Sundays. And let me articulate. The last 6 NFL MVPs, Rodgers has won 2. Jackson has won 2. Mahomes has won 2. I feel like I'm watching, and they're great. They're amazing all-time athletes, right? And Mahomes will chase down Brady to see who's going to be the greatest of all time at some point. I feel like I'm watching the NFL game evolve into an extension of college football, where the prototypical pocket passer, is going to go by the wayside. And you're going to see dynamic athletes come in and change the game. And that's why Go ahead, Jeff.
I
I'm sorry.
I think that's happening. I think we're watching it
Absolutely.
in real time.
Absolutely. And my friends challenge me on that, and they're like, "No, it's the same." And I'm like, "It's absolutely not the same."
So now let me throw a caveat at you, and I'm going to let you finish. I don't think the prototypical passer will become extinct, right?
Agreed.
I don't think the Jared Goffs, the Herberts, the Matthew Staffords will become extinct. But everybody's going to have to be able to move. But I think that the majority will be the dual threat guy.
But 1,000% agreement, which, to my point, to reiterate, is an extension of the college game and the influence of the college game. And that's evolution. I don't have a problem with it. I'm just telling you it's different. I think Mahomes is amazing. He's just ahead of the curve. There's more Mahomes coming. Case in point, Caleb Williams and others just like him. Okay, last point. Thank you for being benevolent with your time this morning. Every good storyline needs what, gentlemen? It needs a villain. There's no villain in the NFL. Brady and Belichick were the villains for 2 decades. There's too many nice guys, right? There's nothing wrong with nice guys. I'm a nice guy, and sometimes I'm a villain. Dak's not good enough to be the villain. You need a villain. Parsons is on the wrong side of the football to be. They're trying to make him a villain, but he's not a villain. Mahomes is a nice, sweet boy. You know, he's a nice guy. Last year we got a love story, which carried the NFL season. We had a love story. You know what it is. And I just don't know who the villain is going to be in the NFL, but they're going to manufacture one.
It will be Aaron Rodgers and the Jets.
That may be the villain, but every good storyline needs a villain. But no matter what teams do in free agency, no matter what they do with their rosters, the Chiefs, Mahomes could go 8 touchdowns, 44 interceptions, and go 9-8. And you know what's going to happen in the playoffs?
Yep, they win.
The Ravens are going to inexplicably run the ball 6 times in the AFC title game, and Mahomes is going to send everybody home. And the storyline might be the three-peat this year.
That's good.
Thanks for the time.
All right, man. Who's the villain this year? You got a villain? I would, if you're going to tell me that there's going to be one, I will tell you it'll be the Jets. And
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now
they got to be good enough to be the villain, right?
Well, good enough to become a villain. I think there's storylines that people will root against regardless.
Like the Niners, like you'll always root against the Niners,
or the Dallas Cowboys, are always that. Well, they're not be a villain. Like it's the. You love to hate them regardless because you like to give junk to your friends that are Cowboy fans.
There's a lot of people who really don't like Josh Allen and the Bills.
That doesn't really simmer to me.
No, I agree with you. And his personality doesn't play villain.
Not at all.
All right. If Cleveland gets good, are they the villain?
I don't really think people are that up in arms anymore about Deshaun Watson.
I think that's right. I think that's right. So the only one I see, if Harbaugh gets good, is he the villain?
Not in the NFL.
No. I think that's right. His other point, and I don't think he's wrong, but I find it ironic. He talked about the evolution of the dual threat quarterback, and he said that it's the college influence on the NFL game. And I want you to think about that. How often does the lower level of football influence the upper level? Meaning, right? The college influence would be infiltrating the pro game, and it is. For a long time, it was the pro set offense went into the college game, and you saw it at places like SC, at Washington, at Stanford, where quarterback factories, I'm using air quotes, that used to pump out the quarterbacks. And this may be cyclical, right? We may in 10 years go back, and you may have more, and never a statue quarterback because defenses are too fast, but more of a pocket passer trend. But
they're all pocket passers,
and that's where I was going with this.
Like it's not the college game changing the NFL game. It's the fact that quarterbacks are better athletes. It's teams are people in the evolution of football realize that you can make a passer out of someone who's athletic.
Okay, and this is really good where you went with this
because they're the top guys in the game are not runners.
Okay, the influence of the college game on the dual threat guy, I think, is real. However, what the NFL has done, to your point, with the dual threat guy, made him more of a pocket passer. Hence the dual, right? The dual threat. Because I agree with you. the NFL has taken, I mean, Lamar Jackson is your perfect example, right? When he came in, Bill Polian said he can't be a quarterback. He's not good. He's going to be a receiver. Well, now he's one of the best quarterbacks in the game and one of the highest paid. But what does he become way more of, to your point? A pocket passer. So I think Edwards' point is right, that the influence for the college game has influenced the pro game. However, the pro game has taken that and influenced it further to say, yeah, you can be a runner, but you have got to be a pocket passer.
Josh Allen's not Josh Allen if he's completing under 60% of his passes.
Agreed. No, 100%. So both things can kind of be true.
I actually don't think it's as much. I think it's a style because the passing game has evolved, the rules and opening up the field, as opposed to they're better athletes, but they're not runners. Like there's Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson.
I've seen way more RPO in pro football over the last 5 years than I ever have.
RPO is a pass concept, not running.
Right, but isn't it more of don't you think it's more of a college concept initially?
It's just either you hand it to the running back or throw the football.
Right.
It has nothing to do with the running quarterback.
Right, run, pass, option. Right. But I think the concept, and I could be wrong, the evolution of it started more, it was much heavier in college football.
The game is wide open at the highest level because they want to manufacture passing yards. They don't want the contact.
We come back. I got a story for you. This one, I don't know if it'll surprise you, but when you start thinking of it in context, you're just going to go, wow. One of the greatest of all times. I mean, literally, no argument. No, you won't argue. I won't. There's one of the greatest of all times, what he made career-wise. And I'm going to compare it to some of the stuff that's going on right now. It may well, it's kind of, but again, what is money now compared to when it was then? We'll do that when we come back. You ready for Balloon Fiesta? Family's coming to town. Get your car clean before the chaos. My friends at On the Spot Automotive Detailing will help you get your car looking, feeling, smelling brand new. I don't have the time, Jeff. You don't need the time, my friend. On the Spot Automotive Detailing will do it for you wherever and whenever it's convenient for you. That means they come to you. That means you're at the office because I don't have time to take my car somewhere. That's fine. They come to you. While you're working there in the parking lot, they're getting it done. When they're finished, it looks, it feels, and smells like it is brand new. I strongly suggest calling them. They also have ceramic coating, paint protection film that'll help maintain your car, keep it looking new no matter the weather. No more water, dirt, and mud stains. They got a protective layering that helps prevent UV oxidation damage from the intense sun. A lifetime warranty is available. There's a reason On the Spot Automotive Detailing was voted best in the city. Give them a call. The number's 505-859-2859. It's On the Spot Automotive Detailing, 505-859-2859, or you can book right there online at otsdetailing.com.
This report is sponsored.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet? Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
I don't know, 1975, 1980, right? I mean, like, what were you making then if you were around then, or what were your parents making, and what are you making now? Look, I understand it's different, and I understand what athletes make now. Like, you talk to a guy, hell, Kenny Thomas sits here, and he was in the NBA, right, in the early 2000s. And I think Kenny made about $58 million playing basketball, but he marvels at what they're making. It's all relative, right? JJ, do we argue at all, anybody, period, that Jack Nicklaus was one of the greatest golfers ever?
We don't argue that.
He's one of the two greatest ever, right? Arnold Palmer was great, Tom Watson was great, but it's him and Tiger, right? Any idea what his career earnings were? Like career.
$1 million.
I mean, it's not really not that bad of a guess. It was $5.8 million. Okay. Career earnings over, I'm trying to find out exactly how many years. Now, Nicklaus's annual salary now is about $33 million annually now, right? He's made a lot of money from his career in his prime source of income. But he over his lifetime, he's said to have earned about $1.15 billion. But I've heard numbers anywhere from I'm getting conflicting numbers, 5.8 million to, but right about that. All right. A lot of money, good money. He won. I mean, he played forever. JJ, do you know what a caddy makes percentage-wise? As long as you're not Matt Kuchar's caddy.
Yeah.
In Mexico, it's about 10%. Any idea? I've given it away. See, I always screw my game up. If I said Ted Scott was right, and I played my game, do you know who Ted Scott is?
Ted Scott sounds like a character on The Office.
All right, Ted Scott is a character on The Office. Is the 32nd ranked player in the U.S. Open, American tennis player. he is the relief pitcher for the Detroit Tigers, or he's Scotty Scheffler's caddy. Which way are you going?
I'm concerned we're talking about golf.
I gave it away. See, I screw this game up all the time. Scotty Scheffler
started the segment out with it.
I know. I screw this thing up all the time. Scotty Scheffler's caddy, Ted Scott, made $6.2 million this year. And look, nothing against Ted Scott now. Ted Scott obviously worked. He traveled the world. He's part of Scotty Scheffler's team. But I want you to just kind of reconcile in your mind that in Jack Nicklaus's career, I see a number here, and so this is a conflicting number. This one says 9.1 million. So let's even play the high number. In his career, 18 major titles to his name, Jack Nicklaus won between 1962 and 2005, $9.1 million. Ted Scott carried the bag. He made 6.2. Again, I'm not mad at the man for making his money. But isn't it amazing the difference in the world of sports, what you're making today and the Tiger factor? I mean, honestly.
The Tiger factor in golf.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Nicklaus played 44 seasons, won 73 tournaments, 18 majors. So this is right. His prize money was just $5.8 million, $5,734,000. Victor Hovland claimed $32.1 million in winnings in a single season. He earned over 5 times what Nicklaus won in a 43-year PGA career, and Hovland didn't even win a major. Now, again, money, like that was good money back then. Jack lived fine. Jack living good. It just, when you hear some of these numbers, man, it just boggles your mind. I don't know. I just gave it to you for context. Just crazy. All right, 505-246-0610 on the eve of getting started with the National Football League. Ricky Pearsall is lucky to be alive. That story is amazing, of the 49ers receiver who got shot. We're going to get into that and the charges against him. And Shohei Ohtani returned to Anaheim Stadium last night for the first time as a member of another team. How'd that go? Well, they wanted no part of him. Maybe they'd have been better off pitching to him in the 10th inning. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
or surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
See if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom. Boom.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with three-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bob.
All right, we start the second hour, and I'm getting some sad news coming in this morning. And JJ did just confirm this. And you know, we throw the word legend around quite a bit. For New Mexico State alumni and fans, and I do think for sports fans in this state, this gentleman was a legend, and passed away this morning, or I guess it was last night. I'm just getting word. Charlie Johnson, the former Aggie quarterback, played for the Cowboys, played for the Broncos. 85 years old. I'm just getting word, passed away last night. I don't know exactly what happened. I'm trying to figure it out. But Charlie Johnson, and JJ, I've told you, man, Charlie's been on our show before. But when I did my very first TV game for New Mexico State, and I've told you the story a number of times, Charlie was the analyst, and Charlie played in bowl games, Sun Bowl games, for New Mexico State back in the 59 and 60. He was drafted in the NFL draft in 1960, also in the AFL draft. Played for the Cardinals, the Oilers, and the Broncos. Played the Pro Bowl in 1963. He's in the Broncos Ring of Fame. He's in the Texas Sports Hall of Fame. And did so much, and was an insane gentleman. And stayed at New Mexico State. He had a PhD in chemical engineering. He formerly was department head at New Mexico State, professor, successful businessman in the oil industry, played over a decade in the NFL, Cardinals, Oilers, Broncos, as I told you. And always had a smile on his face, and was good at everything he did, and loved New Mexico State, lived in Las Cruces. But I've told you the story, JJ, when he and I were having lunch over at Lorenzo's across the street before the first game we did. It was Hal Mummy's first game, and he was so excited. He had been out at practice, And he was telling me how they're going to score a bunch of points, and they've turned the corner. And I remember, gosh, JJ, this has to be, what, about 18 years ago? I could look it up. But he said to me, before I die, I want to lose the title. And I've told you this before, right? I want to lose the title of being the last quarterback to take the Aggies to a bowl game, or the last Aggies quarterback in a bowl game. And he did. I mean, Diego Pavia took, well, it wasn't Diego. It was the Arizona Bowl in 2017. And he was so happy, but such a gentleman, and so we did that game. And I love Charlie. And every time I saw Charlie, we laughed. But Charlie, the game got out of control. It was probably 7-0, 10-0, 17-0, 24-3 or something like that. And I remember we went to break, and Charlie took off his headset, and he said, "I didn't bleep and see this coming." And he was so upset, JJ. It was his alma mater. He was so upset. He was so convinced it was going to be different. And we came back, and I was calling the game, and I think it was Royal Gill was the quarterback. And we showed a replay, and I said, "Well, Charlie, Royal's getting hit, but he's standing in, he's delivering the ball." Yep.
Yeah.
He was done.
Been there, buddy. Been there.
He was done. So Aggie fan, really, really sad news. Born back in 1938, and Charlie Johnson. I just got confirmation out of New Mexico State that Charlie Johnson passed away last night. And Jack Nixon had just posted something as well. The voice of the Aggies, the longtime voice, who's also, who's retiring. Did you ever met Charlie?
I did not.
Yeah. JJ, just legend. I mean, literally legend down there. And just as good of a gentleman as there was, and a guy who was just genuine and unique, and loved that place. Loved New Mexico State. And 85 years old. So Aggie fan, if you've got, and I'd love to hear you, if you've got a story, if you've got something that you remember Charlie Johnson by, I'd love to hear it. 505-246-0610. All right. We've been talking a lot of football. You guys are in this morning. Let me get a couple of things you're in on. Text line. Gents, 1985 Sports Illustrated had an issue on what athletes make. Jack Nicklaus was the first $100 million. The Steve. Yeah, but it was, again, so Jack Nicklaus was able to parlay his athletic success into business success. He had the apparel line, he had his golf courses, but his career earnings playing golf, $5.8 million. Yeah, he's made over $1 billion. That was as a businessman. And certainly his success, right? His success in golf, the Golden Bear, he's still the guy. He's still Jack Nicklaus. He's still revered everywhere he goes. But he was able to parlay that. Kind of like, right? That's how LeBron became a billionaire, right? His outside interests, although he's making, what is it, $60-something million a year now playing basketball? This one on text line. JJ, Brandon Ayuk is Amari Cooper, same player.
Okay. I don't want Brandon Ayuk for 5 years with that cap hit versus what you're dealing with Deshaun Watson for the 2 years with Amari Cooper, plus the fact they just paid an extension to Jerry Judy to bring him over. That doesn't matter to me. They're the same player. The question was, do you want him in the trade? And I don't want 5 years of that wide receiver contract with the questions that you have to answer at quarterback in that deal versus the production I can get over the next couple of years with Amari Cooper, and then you're moving on.
I mean, if it comes down to same contract, same situation, who you want, Amari Cooper or Brandon Ayuk?
Well, you want Brandon Ayuk because he's 5 years younger.
But it isn't the same situation.
But there's multiple factors in that.
Yeah.
And if we're talking straight player-wise, you want Brandon Ayuk or Amari Cooper? Well, you'd say Brandon Ayuk because he is younger. But I think there's a lot more that factors into that when we're talking about team construction, contracts, which quarterback is getting paid. So if I'm getting Amari Cooper production in the next few years, knowing that I have to deal with Deshaun Watson's contract. I'll take that over having to add $120 million to Brandon Ayuk.
Straight up now, this year player, I'm not as convinced as maybe you are that Brandon Ayuk's a better receiver right now today going out on the field than Amari Cooper.
So the point is fair.
Yeah.
They're the same player.
Okay.
But when you ask, what makes sense for the teams now, I don't want to then add another receiver I'm paying big money to with the contract, given the fact they did trade for Jerry Jeudy, gave him an extension.
Yep, we're on the same page. All right, Mike's in on the email, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. Peacock, he says, Jeff, it says the game is on Peacock, which is misleading. I have one of the very first Peacock accounts, way before most folks even heard of it. It was P-Chick then. See what he did? Yet last time an NFL game was there, I couldn't watch because my subscription isn't good enough or high enough level, and I'm not buying yet another paid subscription for just one game. All right. Not sure that helps me. Does it help you?
No, it's just all decisions we have to make in life. What do we want to pay for?
That's right. All right, Bourne's in. He says, can I pick your brain, Jeffy Lube? Sure. Was Arizona's defense not very good? Or was Montana State's defense a lot better than we thought it was on August 24th? Which is it? Can I offer you a third option? Can I offer you that maybe New Mexico's offense got better from week 1 to week 2? Is that a possibility? Because I'm not convinced that Montana State's defense was better than Arizona's defense. Are you? Athlete-wise and just overall?
No, I think it was an Arizona State team that...
Arizona.
I combined Arizona and Montana State.
Yeah.
It was a Wildcats team that had first week issues defensively. A quarterback that played one of the best games he's going to play all year. With a receiver that played the best game he probably will have all year in Luke Weissong.
I mean, I'd like to see more Luke Weissong like that, wouldn't you? I mean, what are the possibilities? And this is a conversation I was having with somebody yesterday. Was that a Luke Weissong career game, or is that a Luke Weissong that you can go back to and expect more moments like that throughout the year? Yeah, I'm not sure I know the answer because I
think you can expect more moments like that.
Okay.
Because this team is going to throw the football a lot. It was evident against Montana State.
And they're going to throw it at him.
What they were trying to do.
And it's going to go to him.
Giving Dampier the opportunity to throw the football. And the only one right now that's been on the field and has earned the trust of Dampier in the short amount of time, it's Luke Weissong.
100%.
Because even though Luke had the drop at the end on third down, he had the two biggest catches
in the Montana State game.
In the Montana State game.
Yeah.
He had the two biggest catches, the 53-yard pass that Dampier dropped nice over the shoulder away from the defender, and then just a dart on a play action, like a 15-yard completion, big-time catches. He can make those plays. Dampier trusts him to make those plays.
Yeah. All right, I got more from you as we go. I got more, you're coming in on Charlie Johnson this morning again. News came down this morning. News hasn't even come down. I found out this morning. Charlie Johnson, the former Aggie quarterback, Aggie great, NFL, played with the Broncos and the Oilers and the Cardinals. Passed away this morning, 85 years old, was Charlie Johnson, and not just Aggie fan, JJ, coming in. Even I got even a Lobo fan. On Charlie Johnson. So we'll keep that coming. If you want to get in on that, you can. Steeler fan on their Brandon Ayuk take. 505-246-0610 here on the opening drive.
Football is back, and there's no better way to get in the game than with Underdog Fantasy. What is Underdog Fantasy? Well, let me tell you. It's a way that you can win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on your favorite players' stats. We're talking touchdowns, passing yards. When it comes to football, you can look at the projections already for Thursday night football, but you can get in the game right now. Just head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with the promo code JJBuck, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. So what is a pick'em entry? It is at least 2 players from 2 different teams, but you can stack more players on top of that and win up to 1,000 times your money, just going higher or lower on that player's projected stats. I was a winner last night because I flexed my pick'em entry. I just needed to hit 2 of my 3 picks last night using the flex to become a winner. But you can stack more players on top of that. You can go all in. You can flex. You have opportunities, and it's so much fun. And I'm loving the standalone game tonight in the WNBA. Sparks at Fever. Caitlin Clark been on absolute fire. Aaliyah Boston, absolute fire for the Fever. Yes, you can pick them, but then you got to find someone from the Sparks. Making picks an underdog is straightforward. It's easier than ever to sign up. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code JJBuck to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. You can give it a try tonight, dabble in some of that WNBA action, and go all in for the start of the NFL season Thursday night. Look at the projections that are out right now for your favorite players. Must be 18 and older and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance?
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride barbecue chicken and ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's ill.
This morning, and I hate breaking this news to you, especially Aggie fans, but a legend out of New Mexico State passed away this morning, Charlie Johnson. The former Aggie quarterback spent a decade in the National Football League with the Broncos and the Oilers and the Cardinals. He's in the Broncos Ring of Fame. Charlie passed away this morning, or actually last night. 85 years old was Charlie Johnson, and just an unbelievable gentleman. 15 years, 3 years in the National Football League, and then PhD in chemical engineer, ran the department down at New Mexico State and stayed very, very active. And I know a lot of you have thoughts on Charlie Johnson, and you're welcome to get them in today. 505-246-0610. That's the text line and the phone line. This is JJ. This isn't obviously not an Aggie fan. It says I can't stand the Aggies. It's on the text line. It says I can't stand the Aggies. Charlie Johnson was truly a class act. I had the pleasure of meeting him and talking to him on a couple of occasions. Maybe the best ambassador of NMSU with respect to Jack Nixon and Lou Henson. And I mean, that's high praise when someone says, you know, I can't stand them, but that dude was class. And I don't know. Look, I've met Charlie on a number of occasions. I can't tell you he and I were tight. We would always laugh. We would always have really good conversation. I called, game with him. That was my very first one. But ultimate gentleman, like ultimate gentleman. And condolences to those who know and love Charlie. And Adrian's showing you great work by Adrian, by the way. Great work on ProView Networks, Adrian. He's got highlights of Charlie as a player with the Broncos, and then an interview with Charlie. But great work on the stream if you're watching on ProView Networks or on our Facebook page, the OD in the AM. 505-246-0610. Mike, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Mike.
Hey, good morning, guys. How you doing today?
Good.
I just wanted to call to let you know that, Mr. Charlie was amazing as a broadcaster. I just loved listening to him. I used to live in Cruces, so it was great to hear him calling all the Aggie games. Secondly, I love that Underdog Fantasy app. Well done on that. I really think that's a fun game to play. But here's my points that I want to take. First off, I do think Montana State defense was better than Arizona defense. Yes, I think the Lobos got better. I think the Lobos are going to get better all season. It's a work in progress, but big improvement from week 1 to week 2. And the Arizona team was good. I think they're going to show up really good this weekend against Auburn as well. I think the team is just collectively clicking really good. But and my last point that I want to make is everybody's really high on the Bears, and I like the Bears. I think they're going to be okay. But they're really getting their 4.5-point favorites. I think is the line over the Titans. I personally think the Titans are going to be sneaky good. I'm dying to hear you guys break down the AFC South, but I think the Titans beat the Bears in week 1. That's all I got, guys. Have a great day.
All right, right on, Mike. Appreciate you. I don't hate that pick at all. I think the Titans. What's their number, JJ? And we're going to go through some win totals. The Tennessee Titans win total is 5.5. Can they be sneaky way better? If they get good quarterback play, can't they be pretty good?
I don't think it's way better. They can be 6-7 win team. So the over.
You don't think they can tickle
Bears
a playoff?
defense is better.
Okay.
Will Levis has a year of experience under his belt, which you should like him to make plays week 1 versus Caleb Williams.
Okay.
Just because I do agree that that's a line I'd like in week 1. Because I think Caleb Williams is going to be good, but just to expect him week 1 first NFL start and his entire game plan against him versus the preseason to be the next Hall of Fame quarterback of the NFL.
All right.
That's why I like that point on Tennessee in week 1.
All right. 505-246-0610. That's where Mike called. You can keep them coming. Emails Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com on the text line. Hey, guys, sad news regarding Mr. Charlie Johnson, RIP. Charlie, Godspeed. This is John in the Duke City. Appreciate that. This one's from Steelers fan. It says, absolutely did not want Ayuk because he's not remotely worth that deal and is a massive diva. We have and have had enough of those. I think a lot of Steelers fans feels that way. I know your point was he fits in well there because he's a playmaker. They have cap space. They had money to go out and spend. Would he have made a difference there? And I think he makes a difference if you get good quarterback play, right?
He would have made a difference because there are some places you need the skill players to pick up your quarterback, and that's one of those places. And they don't have enough skill players.
Okay. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I
understand it
I'm
when
with
you're a Steeler fan that went through Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, those years, but man, those dudes were good. And Ayuk, not Antonio Brown, who at times you could say, man, that guy was the best wide receiver in the NFL. But at some point in time, you're going to be watching a Steelers game, and they're going to have 14 points on the board.
There you go. I wish I had Brandon Ayuk. All right, when we come back, another day, another highest paid position player in the NFL. This time he's with the Denver Broncos. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
Another day, another dude getting paid in the National Football League. No, it's not Jamar Chase. Good morning to you. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Area code 505-246-0610. That's how to get here today. 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com, JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Come on in and play radio with us. All right, so Broncos star Patrick Surtain, cornerback, 4 years, $96 million. That came down this morning. $77.5 million guaranteed. He is now the highest paid defensive back in the history of the National Football League. $24 million average salary. Tops the NFL ahead of Green Bay's Jair Alexander. You like it?
Like it. You got to pay your franchise cornerstones. And Surtain is one of those players. He is one of the top cornerbacks in the NFL, and they're in that transition where they have a rookie quarterback, a rookie contract the next 2 years. You saw it with Quinn Mares, the guard that they made the highest paid at this position. They're locking in the pieces that they believe are foundational for the next 2 years. You can do that with a rookie quarterback contract. In fact, they're eating the Russell Wilson deal. Get off of that. And this is what you do. Pay your franchise players.
Yep, and they just did. He's been as good as advertised, 9th overall in the 2021 draft, if I'm not mistaken. So he had the 5th-year option in his rookie contract picked up earlier this year. And corner's one of those spots, right? I mean, it's quarterback, and then it's left tackle, edge rusher, receiver, and corner in whatever order you want, right? I mean, how do you prioritize all that?
It always starts with the quarterback. Protect the quarterback, rush the quarterback, and then you get to the skill position players defending the skill position players. And when you have an elite corner, it gives you an opportunity to do some different things defensively because you trust that your Surtain can survive a one-on-one with the majority of the guys in that league.
Yeah. All right, so you can get in on that 505-246-0610. Let's go. 505-246-0610. But Patrick Surtain is inked, and Broncos have got a good one. All right, got a couple on baseball coming in on the email. Mike's on Albuquerque baseball team wins. Jeff, they took an unplayable lie, and the useless Mountain West refs let them get away with it. Even though the ball looked clearly reachable, it changed the entire momentum of the game at Cheney. Did you know what he's complaining about last night in Isope's game? No, I don't either. But okay. Telus is in on him. It's hard to win, Jeffy, with 17 games to play. Let's look at the last 10-game records of some of the contenders for the final spot in the PCL tournament. Round Rock's 4-6, Reno's 5-5, Tacoma's 2-8, Salt Lake's 2-8, Vegas is 4-6. If any of those clubs goes 7-3, they could run away with it. You're telling me there's still a chance, is what people are saying for Isotopes to get into the playoffs. That's what people are holding on to. All right. If there's still a chance, there's still a chance. It's what you're still playing for. How are you on this whole Brazil thing? I'm listening to the players talk about this, and Eagles linebacker Devin White's not going. He's been ruled out. He's got an ankle injury. He's not going to make the trip. I was listening to A.J. Brown, the wide receiver of the Eagles, talk about how they're telling him to stay in your room, don't walk down the street with your phone, all these things. Like, I get, JJ, that we're growing the game. I understand this international audience. Will you explain to me why we're sending teams to a place that they can't go outside? That they shouldn't leave the hotel room, but go play a game. Let's go grow the game. But when you're there, and we're gonna fly you 11, 12, 30, whatever, however many hours to Sao Paulo, and just stay in the hotel and get on the bus and go to the game. But don't go outside. Don't experience. What do we do? I mean, tell me where I'm missing something here. You can't, can you?
This is one where it's entirely different. If you're just going on a regular road trip, you don't care that, I don't need to go explore Detroit or Chicago.
Right.
Been there, done that. But
you can go out for dinner.
Yeah. You can go out for dinner.
They don't tell you, hey, don't walk down the street with your cell phone in your hand. Don't, be careful. The gangs are out. You might want to just stay in your hotels. That's what these guys are saying. I mean, I don't know Sao Paulo's crime rate. I really don't. I'm just listening to what they're being told, and I'm like, why are we sending dudes halfway across the world?
Why is we sending dudes to San Francisco?
Because one guy got shot? Is that what you're saying? I mean, guys get shot.
I think
everywhere.
it's a business trip.
Okay.
The off season, you can go on your vacations. NFL's trying to.
You can go to Egypt whenever you want.
Yes.
Right during mini camps.
But if you can't walk this street as you get ready for a football game, you know that this is business, man. You're getting paid. They're paying you.
Yeah, but you're getting paid, like to your point, going to San Francisco, and if you go and by the way, so I would almost argue, because like when they go to Germany, when they go to London, right? The guys always talk about they go out, they did this, they did that. It is different. It is. I mean, you're right to your point where it's a business trip.
Then they probably won't send them back to Brazil after this.
Maybe that's a good idea. And I wonder why they're sending them there in the first place. Because you're going somewhere exotic, and I don't know if this is exotic, something more different, where most of these guys probably haven't been, right? I mean, if you go somewhere, anywhere you haven't been, don't you kind of want to get a little feel of where it is? And then, well, hey, you guys, don't go outside, man. I know you're big, tough guys, but yeah, it's not really safe to walk down the street. And if you do, you may not want to carry your phone. What? Well, yeah, no, we're growing the game, though. It's good for the game. Wait, we kept Caitlin Clark off the Olympic. Oh, that's another story. I don't know.
I think, yeah. There's two giantly different things.
Yes.
Straight.
Yes.
Straight business, homie.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of straight business, my dude Davis Mills got a deal. See that? Davis Mills. What do you think? Have you seen the story yet? 1 year backup quarterback. How much do you think Davis Mills gets back up for 1 year? If you think Justin Fields getting $1.1 million, Russell Wilson's like $1 million quarterback, one of them was a starter in Pittsburgh. What do you think Davis Mills is getting to back up in C.J. Stroud in Houston for 1 year?
Just a 1 year deal.
1 year, Davis Mills.
Davis Mills, third
round pick out of Stanford.
Started some games.
Showed some
like
promise.
him enough to keep him around.
Yeah, 1 year.
Insurance policy for C.J. Stroud.
Yep.
I'll say
Jack Nicklaus made $5.6 million in his career.
I'll say 1.7.
$5 million.
Oh, good on you, Davis.
1 year extension, $5 million for Davis Mills to hold the clipboard for C.J. Stroud. And you're like, and Jack Nicklaus got $5.6 million in his 1966 to 2005 career. That's right. So obviously they're comfortable with Davis Mills. Who else would they have? Kyle Allen was there. So he's the number 2 quarterback. Stroud missed 2 games in 2023 because of a concussion. And Case Keenum started those 2 games. Not Mills. But this year, Keenum's on injured reserve. He's got a foot injury, which he suffered in the final preseason game. And so they had to sign a quarterback. 2 preseason games this year. If it matters to you, Mills completed 70% of his passes, 191 yards and a touchdown, no turnovers. Davis Mills. So, I mean, I don't know. I look around backup quarterbacks, and we all think, you and I think they're important. 66 different dudes started a quarterback in the National Football League last year. That's more than 2 per team. That means the majority of teams at some point will start a backup quarterback. And they like this guy enough, and they're going to pay him $5 million. Who ended up being the back? Is Justin Herbert going to be ready week 1? Because they went out and just signed Tyler Heineke, right? What's this? He's got a foot injury, right? Isn't that what it is? Like a nag? Yeah, man. Why did I spend $17 on it? Because I needed a backup quarterback.
Did you spend $17 on Justin
Yeah,
Herbert?
I did. Got expensive. I needed a second quarterback. I got Jared Goff, and it was like, what am I going to do? And I guess I could have gone to Deshaun Watson or Sam Darnold or
$17 and the
Will
guy
Levis.
that doesn't have upside this season.
Dude, the guy's got plenty of upside. The guy's got nothing
Not in that
but
offense.
The guy's got nothing but upside. He just doesn't have results, winning results. He's got stats.
He's got plenty of
He's got
fantasy
stats.
Not going to have it this season.
Let's see.
Foot injury.
Look, man, if I
Going to
get rid of
Ladd McConkey underneath all the time. Josh Palmer.
yards, man. If I got to go and get me some Derek Carr or Geno Smith or Sam Darnold, it'll be there for me.
Get yourself some J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, I didn't get that either. That went late. All right, 505-246-0610. We're going to go through team win totals in the National Football League coming up here at 9 o'clock. What do you like? What don't you like? You can get in on that. You can respond to the news that we unfortunately broke for you this morning that former Aggie great quarterback Charlie Johnson passed away last night. 85 years old, was the legend, the former Bronco, Oiler, Cardinal, and certainly New Mexico State legend. And a lot of you were getting in this morning on that. And love to hear your thoughts on that. If you're looking for a place to hold an event, you have you're the person in charge of your holiday party. You've got a wedding, you've got a reception, you've got anything from a small gathering to a gala. Check out the Albuquerque Convention Center. Right in the heart of downtown. You've been to events there. You understand how great it is. It was easy parking, wasn't it? They got parking structure adjacent and then hallways that walk you to wherever you want to go amongst their 600,000 square feet of flexible indoor meeting space. We have held events there at the Isleta New Mexico Bowl since we started. We do a team event there every year. Why? Because A, the space is great, and B, they take care of our people. And that's what's important. They've got great food options. Their service is spectacular. Great layouts that will fulfill every planner's desire, no matter what it is you're looking to do, small event to gigantic event. Be at the center of it all and make the Albuquerque Convention Center the place where you host your event. Get on those holiday parties now. They're going to start to book up really, really quickly. Get it off your list and know what you're doing. Be at the center of it all. Call them at 505-768-4575. 505-768-4575 or go online at albuquerquecc.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet? Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local.
You know, I told you that a couple people didn't bring their computers, so we had to do the draft yesterday, like manually, and now the commissioner's inputting. And there's a certain receiver I got for $22. It was on somebody else's roster.
Uh-oh.
He put him there for 38. Like, I don't know if the dude was up for auction twice, which would be, how do you even reconcile that? But yeah, he's got him on somebody else's roster. So he just showed me a screenshot of my team from last night. I'm like, yeah, there he is right there, dude. What do we do? We got controversy.
Get it fixed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's easy fix. Put him on my roster. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Sad news this morning. We broke for you earlier. Guy that many people think of as the greatest Aggie ever, Charlie Johnson, passed away this morning. The former quarterback, former head of the Department of Chemical Engineering down there. Just the ultimate gentleman, former Bronco and Oiler and Cardinal, passed away, 85 years old this morning. And many of you were in on Charlie Johnson and your thoughts and memories of the former Aggie great. 505-246-0610. Fred, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Fred.
Hey, Jeff. Hey, I just wanted to give my condolences to the Johnson family. I of course, I remember the team. I'm old enough to remember that was the best team ever the Aggies have ever had. They were 11-0, and I remember they won the Sun Bowl that year. They the two, well, there's three guys that were studs. One was Charlie Johnson, of course. Purvis Atkins was first team All-American. Yep. What a running back that guy was. And then Bob Gators was another. He was a fullback, I think, and he was a great player too. They had like 7 guys make the NFL, and if you remember back in those days, there was only like 40 guys on a team, and they didn't play both ways, but a lot of the players played both ways back in those days. But this is just a great team. Both Atkins and Johnson are in our New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame, and anyway, Charlie Johnson, like everybody has said, I've only met him once, but what a gentleman. Yep. What a nice guy. Just a really good guy.
Yeah. All right, Fred, I hear you.
That's it.
No, thank you.
That's it, guy.
Yeah, thank you. And I think there's going to be a lot of tears shed. I do. I think there's going to be a lot of tears shed for Charlie. And, the more people, from what I understand, he had kind of, backed off over, relatively recently, that maybe his health wasn't great, that 85 years old. I mean, who's undefeated, JJ? Who's the only one ever, right? Father Time. And but he was the head of the department of chemical engineering, cover of magazine, Broncos Ring of Honor, Miller Lite. He was in a Miller Lite commercial back in the day. Military businessman, undefeated season in 1960. Just got a text. Mario Mocha called him, and I think he's right, the greatest Aggie ever. The athletic director down there called him the greatest Aggie ever, and I think that's the way a lot of people feel. It's a big loss for the New Mexico State community. I just think anybody who ever met him and just a legend when it comes to sports in the state of New Mexico. So All right. Why don't you take a look at, if you can? I'll give you some of your favorite teams' win totals. This is by Bet365. Cowboys 9.5. Remember, it's a 17-game season. Football season opens tomorrow. Lions 9.5. Who else are favorite teams around here? Raiders 5.5. Patriots 4.5. Broncos 4.5. Niners 10.5. Chiefs 11.5. Think of some of them. Pick a couple. JJ and I, when we hit the top of the hour, 9 o'clock. We're just going to go through and what are we doing? 7? What was the number we decided? 5, 7? How many are we doing?
Said 7.
All right. You got 7 that you like?
I'll find 7.
Yeah, I got 5, and then I realized I might have said 7. So we'll pick 7 and then see, when it's all said and done, how we do. And I don't know. Nobody ever pays up on our lunch bets anyway. Otherwise, we'd be dining on Stigler on a regular basis, wouldn't we?
He's got the lead on us in the 3-for-all.
He went 3-1 that first
3-1.
Yeah, he did.
0 week. We were both 2-2. We'll get that going this week.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. So 505-246-0610. Keep those coming. Emails are coming in this morning at a pretty good pace. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Couple signings in the NFL today. The Broncos, Patrick Surtain, set a record deal for defensive back. They extended him 4 years, $96 million. And the Houston Texans secured their backup quarterback, Davis Mills, the former Stanford quarterback, 1 year, $5 million. And then this came in, JJ. Rory McIlroy and Scotty Scheffler are going to face Bryson DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka in a PGA Tour Live showdown. This will be made-for-TV match, like those. Remember those Monday night made-for-TV matches or whatever? This will be in Vegas in mid-December. I'll tell you more about that later. It's kind of cool. McIlroy, Scheffler against DeChambeau and Koepka. I mean, two guys talk a lot of junk, and Scheffler talks none. But I'll watch. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Overs, unders, win totals. Next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls.
Chip Game, you'll hear it right here on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal, your home for the National Football League. In fact, here's what we got for you. I mean, I don't know. If you like football, I think just keep it locked here on these Sports Animals. So Thursday night, that would be tomorrow, 5:30, we've got the Ravens and the Chiefs. Then on Friday, also at 5:30, we got the Packers and the Eagles opening up their season in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Saturday in the morning, I don't know, you like Texas versus Michigan? College football from the Big House? That'll be right here on the Sports Animal. And then Sunday in the early window, the 11 o'clock window, Colts versus Texans. We'll have the evening game for you, the Rams and Lions at 5:30. And, of course, you're home for Monday Night Football. It'll be the Jets and the 49ers. Oh, did I forget to tell you about over on KTBL? We get the Raiders at 2 o'clock, Raiders and Broncos. We got football for you, JJ. And what did Mike Bobo once tell you?
Football is football.
It is so right. I mean, never a writer statement has been right. Football is football. All right, before we get into this, if you're just joining us, some really, really sad news that we had to break for you this morning out of Las Cruces, New Mexico. Maybe the greatest, well, I don't even know, probably the greatest Aggie ever. Charlie Johnson passed away last night, 85 years old, the former quarterback. Spent 15 years in the National Football League with the Broncos and the Oilers and the Cardinals, and led the Aggies to the undefeated bowl season. He won Sun Bowl in 59 and 60, was the head of the chemical engineering department down there, was in Miller Lite commercials. Just a legend and a gentleman. Charlie Johnson passed away this morning, 85 years old, and an Aggie legend. All right, JG, ready to go through this a little bit? We go me, you, however you want to do it.
Let's do it.
So here's what we're going to do here. So the win totals are out. JJ took these numbers. The odds are provided by Bet365. 17-game season, and I'll put me in this column and you over in this column because that's how I will keep it. And we're not going to go through every one of them. So there's 32 of them. We each picked 7 of them. When we go in a random order, you go first, and I don't know if it's an order of however you want to throw them out there, your order of priority or whatever. But go ahead and you get started.
Well, it was a team that was brought up by a caller earlier, sparked my interest.
Yeah,
and they were a 6-win team last year.
Yeah,
and I think that they should be that or better this season. I'm taking the over on the Tennessee Titans at 5.5.
All right, well, then I'm going to match you on that. Since that's one that we both picked, then I'm going to... So we both went over on the Tennessee Titans. That's one that I've got as well. I'm going to go another over. And I think that if they figure out their quarterback play, and I think they will I think they figured out who it is, and I think he's going to be pretty good by week 3 or 4. I'm going over on the Broncos at 4.5. The Broncos win total is at 4.5. I think, they put together some wins at the end of last year, and I look at their schedule. I think they're better than the Chargers. I think they might be better than. They might finish second in that division. They might be pushing it.
It's open. While I'm lower on the Chargers and Herbert's fantasy hype, I think they're going to be a better football team just by the fact that their style of play, I think, is going to be okay. Run the football, and for them, it's can they stay healthy defensively? Yeah. That's it for the Chargers. Is all those big names on the defensive side of the football? Will they play enough games?
So you playing the Chargers in this?
I don't have them on mine.
Okay, so who's your second pick?
I like the Detroit Lions, the over 9.5 wins. I think there's only 3 games that are not played in a dome. Jared Goff, it's not just the home numbers. He'll be fine. He'll be feasting.
Just so you know, I've already filled mine out. So I'm not. But so look at this. My numbers are already on there. I also have the Lions over. I totally agree. I think 9.5 is just not enough. I think they're an 11-win team. Yeah, I'm over. I'm over on the Lions.
Schedule is in their favor.
Yeah.
Offensive weapons. They've been better each year defensively.
Yeah. All right. Since we're talking about them, I'm going low on the Chargers. The number's 7.5, and I think they're going to look. If Herbert is hurt, even if he's healthy, I wonder about it. But if Herbert's hurt, I'm under 7.5 on the LA Chargers.
I have another over.
Yeah, go.
And it's Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay.
9.5. Very similar feeling to the Detroit Lions. To me, it stacks up. I think they're going to feast on their division. They're going to be so much better. They have pieces on both sides of the football. Got the coordinator position locked in, which I definitely think helps alleviate the Jalen Hurts versus Nick Sirianni headbutting. It just be Kellen Moore, Jalen Hurts focusing on that offense. Vic Fangio, everywhere he's been, they play really good defense. That's a 10-plus win team.
Yeah. All right. So I've given you 4. You've given me 3. Go ahead with another one.
I will take the under on the Indianapolis Colts at 7.5. I think it's a division where Tennessee and Jacksonville are good. I think the Colts, and of course the Houston Texans in there, I think the Colts are a very exciting team. But I think the hype is for Anthony Richardson, the fantasy football player, as opposed to Anthony Richardson, the real-life player, at this point in time.
All right. I'm going to go under on the Dallas Cowboys. Number's 9.5. I think they're a 9-win team. I think they're going to struggle in a lot of places. I'm going to question defensively what they're going to do. I think, especially in the secondary with some injuries, I think it could be a really, 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 really interesting season for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going under.
I should have actually put these in a row because I'm going right back to the AFC South. I do think it's one of the most intriguing divisions in football. I got the over on Jacksonville. They're sitting there at 7.5. They won 9 games last year with a terrible end to the season. I think they're going to be a more consistent football team. I'm taking the over with the Jaguars.
Yeah, I love that, and that was one of them I thought about. I'll give you another over. I'm going over on the Rams. Rams are only 7.5, and I normally don't like to have too much optimism about the Rams. I think they're healthy right now. Now that obviously can change. I loved the young defense. Now, how do you replace Aaron Donald? And I don't think you do. And so I think that's a big, 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 big hole. But I like the Rams. I think that they've come back to I think they've come back closer to the Niners, and I like their schedule. I'm kind of big on the Rams this year.
I got an under for you.
Go.
Under 8.5 on the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay.
Ooh. I know Mike Tomlin doesn't have losing seasons. This team can win 8 games and be right there. And it'll be sweating out to the very end because what they do, they play defense. They want to keep it simple. But I just don't see enough. I don't see a spark with either Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. So they're going to be competitive, but I think this is the year they come up short.
All right, I'm going to give you my last one. My last one's an over. Green Bay Packers at 8.5. I mean, to me, they're better than, right? That would make them a just above 500 team. I think they're better than a 500 team. I mean, I think at least 9-8, right?
Well, if you expect them to be competing for the division, they have the second best odds.
I do.
Behind the Lions, so that would put them in 9 or 10 win territory.
Yeah,
and they were a 9-8 team last year. That Jordan Love picking up where he left off. I think they're better in the backfield. Got Josh Jacobs there. I like it. I do.
Yep.
My last one, trying to figure out what it's going to be. I was looking at some of the double-digit win totals. You had the Chiefs 11.5, 49ers there at 10.5, and so the highest win total last year was 13 for the Baltimore Ravens. And I look at that team, and I think they're going to be there again, 11, 12 wins. I'm going to take the over at the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay. All right. So let me recap these. You went 5 over, 2 down, right? 5 over, 2 under.
So I got Tennessee, Philadelphia, Jacksonville, Baltimore going over their win totals.
And you got Pittsburgh under and the Colts under.
Pittsburgh and the Colts under.
All right. I'm going over on the Broncos at 4.5, over on the Titans at 5.5, over on the Rams at 7.5, and over on the Packers at 8.5, and over on the Lions at 9.5. And I guess I just took 2 unders also, Chargers and the Cowboys. All right, so we agree on 2 of them. We both like Tennessee over, and we both like Detroit over. All right, so we'll put them away until the end of the year and see how we do. All right, and then
it's right there with our Mountain West.
Ooh,
win totals.
Should I put those? I got to find those too. You got those somewhere?
Mm-hmm. I think
maybe I should put all those together.
All going to lose on Nevada shortly.
Because we all took them under?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're all really wrong on that. All right, 505-246-0610. When we come back, Dodgers and Angels last night at the Big A. It was Shohei Ohtani's return to Anaheim Stadium for the first time since he left the Angels. He came up in a big situation in the last inning. They walked him. I'll bet they wish they would have pitched to him. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
For great location.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet? Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View.
Shot a line drive down the right field line. 2 innings later, MVP chance as he reached third base. He was intentionally walked in the 10th. JJ, they went extra innings. They intentionally walked Shohei Ohtani, did the Angels. And now normally you say, all right, well, I get it. Except for Mookie Betts was on deck, and Mookie Betts hit a game-breaking 3-run homer, and the Dodgers won 6-2. So they were saying 3 times in his career has Mookie Betts had the hitter in front of him intentionally walk to get to him. Last time was Big Papi, and he hit a home run that night too. Think they wish they pitched to Shohei? I mean, couldn't end up any worse, right?
Pick your poison.
That's what the Dodgers are.
Parts of lineups that you just can't pitch around. You can try it. It's not going to work.
Yeah, it's exactly what they are. I mean, it's and that's as we hit now this part of the calendar, and we're going to go into the playoffs. It's exactly what they are. There's a question on where did I just see it? Was it on CBS? Was it on one of the websites? ESPN's asking, are Major League Baseball's 3 best teams all in the National League West? Dodgers, Padres, Diamondbacks. Now, the Yankees, the Orioles, the Guardians, the Phillies certainly would all argue a lot of that. Is there an argument that the 3 best teams in baseball are in the National League West?
Absolutely. Because how are you framing the question?
Well,
is it now? Is it the last month of baseball? Is it you believe those are the 3 World Series contenders?
I mean, who are the most dangerous teams going into the postseason is how I would look at it. Who's built to win a championship? Whose pitching staff is deep enough? Whose lineup is stacked that you can't get around?
Because I do believe the Padres and Diamondbacks would surprise people.
The Diamondbacks sure as
tell
hell
them
did
their
that.
records, when you tell them what they're doing offensively, what their pitching staff is like. Because we've seen, the Philadelphia was such a huge story earlier in the season. And you look at Cleveland, the amount of all-stars they had, but then you're like, wait a second. The Padres are just 3 wins behind the Phillies. Diamondbacks just 4 wins. And Guardians are an 80-win team, as are the Yankees and Orioles. So it's not, I don't think that's one where you immediately go, oh, no, how can that be? No, the Padres and Diamondbacks have gone to a different level the second half of the season.
Look, you said it would surprise people. I think people still forget that the Diamondbacks were in the damn World Series last year.
Yeah.
They are the defending National League champions. People are wait, what? Yes, it was the Diamondbacks and the Rangers in the World Series last year. The Diamondbacks rolled through the National League playoffs last year. Wait, the Diamondback? Who? Who's on the Diamondback? Yes. They're really, really good. And it's still a race. Like, you look, everybody thinks that, well, the Dodgers are running away with the National League West. They're the best team in the National League. The Dodgers might be the best team in the National League. We'll see. But that is the closest race in the National League as far as divisional race. Phillies are 7 games up on Atlanta in the East. Brewers are 10 games up on the Cubs in the Central. Dodgers are only 5.5 up on the Padres and 6 up on the Diamondbacks. As a Rocky fan, you're just going, when?
Never.
Can we join the Central? Like, you're close to the Central, right? As far as the United States is concerned.
It wouldn't matter.
It might not matter.
Still be 30 games back first place.
Yeah, you would be. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Well, no, 51-8. Yeah, probably about that. Yeah, 30 games. Yeah, you're right. 30 games. At least you're not the White Sox. By the way, they lost. They didn't win last night. They're 31-109, 49.5 games back. 49.5 games out. They were mathematically eliminated like May 3rd. Not really, but kind of. Yeah. I found it. Something. All right. 505-246-0610. This is interesting timing on this. So college basketball is going to start here about a month and a half, right? This is coming out of Memphis this morning. Their basketball coach, college basketball coach at Memphis, Penny Hardaway, fired 4 staff members today. It's 2 months before it started. 3 assistant coaches, Rick Stansbury, Faraji Phillips, and Jamie Rosser, as well as special advisor, Demetrius Dyson, all fired. No reason. Just a statement. I want to thank them all, blah, blah, blah. You put their names out there, for the service to the University of Memphis in our program. These are good coaches that I've worked with closely over the past few seasons, but I made the difficult decision to go in a new direction with our staff. Timing's not ideal, but I want to give this team the best opportunity to reach our goals of winning the American Conference and advancing the NCAA tournament. With the season rapidly approaching, we're going to move quickly to complete the staff. JJ, this is a really good program. That's a stunner. Like, if that happened here today, if Richard Pitino just put out a statement, he fired his whole staff, we would all be sitting here. What the hell happened? It would be
all we talked about this morning.
Right?
Like, that's gigantic. Because then it leads you to believe, is there trouble on the horizon?
What happened?
Are they trying to get ahead of something? Yes, in this era where it feels like everything goes, there's ways the NCAA can get you. Or try to get you. Firing 4 staff members, because I don't necessarily think about recruiting or benefits at that point in time. Like, what did they potentially try to cover
100%.
That, like, what illegal activity potentially was covered up as opposed to anything recruiting-wise?
Whether there's something there or not, it makes you think that, right? Just because of the timing. Now, if this happens in March when the season's over, you're like, yeah, whatever. But this is, like, the turnover there. They have just one player. You think your roster turned over? Just one player from last season's team is left. 7 players transferred out. Another left early for the NBA draft. Several used up their eligibility. So they've got 8 D1 transfers. I mean, they're good transfers. They've got an ESPN top 100 freshman coming in. But this one, 100%, JJ, this one makes you just look at it and go, huh. Now, last summer, if you recall, Penny Hardaway was suspended 3 games by the NCAA for recruiting violations and violating head coach responsibility rules in separate investigations. So towards the end of the season, there was one of their seniors, Malcolm Dandridge, missed the team's final 5 games because there was an investigation into his eligibility. Like, there's a lot there, isn't there?
Yes.
I mean, I'm just saying, Penny Hardaway is a big name, was a really good player. You can convince me, great. And has been a good coach. And that's a good program. They were 15-2 to start last year. They were ranked as high as number 10 in the poll. They went 7-8 the rest of the season. They missed the NCAA tournament. In fact, they've been to the NCAA tournament just twice in 6 seasons that Penny Hardaway's been there. So obviously the pressure's ramping up on him. That place would be very similar to this in regards to college basketball, with the exception if they have the NBA to somewhat hide them a little bit, right? They got an NBA team in town, so you can kind of hide behind the Grizzlies a little bit. That's a big pressure job in a basketball market. I know, man. The timing on that one really makes you scratch your head. All right, 505-246-0610. 505-246-0610. JJ, we didn't get into this a little bit. I do want to go into some of the into the Lobo stuff and how you figure out how to cut down on some of the big plays defensively. Was it just a fact that, man, they played one of the best quarterback receiver combos in the country, or is this going to be a bigger trend? It's the opening drive. Jeff and JJ on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Hour.
95.9 FM and AM 610.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one, both of them, gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us, and my wife, and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, I'm
Line adventure for 4 people. Valued at over $500, you get 5 sections of zip lines stretched above the Rockies. You also get a $150 gift card from Mercedes-Benz of Albuquerque. Go to our website, sportsanimal.abq.com, and register there. The news this morning, and it was sad news out of Las Cruces. Aggie legend Charlie Johnson passed away last night, 85 years old, the former quarterback who played in the NFL for the Broncos and the Oilers and the Cardinals, led the Aggies 1959 and 60 Sun Bowl. Chemical engineering PhD and professor, ran the department at New Mexico State, and just the ultimate gentleman. Had some failing health of recent times, and at 85 years old, passed away. And we're remembering Charlie Johnson. And if you've got a story on Charlie, you're welcome to get in at 505-246-0610. All right, JJ, Lobo football gave up a lot of plays. Big plays. Big plays. Tetaroa McMillan is as good a receiver as they will see. I firmly believe that Fafita and McMillan are the best quarterback receiver combo the Lobos will see all year. So, that being said, 304 yards, 4 touchdowns is unheard of. I mean, it's just, whoa. Was this more about the Lobo defense or more about the Arizona offense?
Yes.
Okay.
Like those two things are true right
answer.
now.
Yeah.
That is the best combination you're going to see, but you gave up a 93-yard touchdown run to the RB3 at Montana State.
Mm-hmm. In a key situation. And your coach said on this show, it's not just opening day jitters. It's a much bigger issue.
There was 200 yards rushing in the second half for Montana State, and their best running back didn't play that game.
Okay. Now, that was a gashing of your run defense, and Montana State did that all day. And this was a gashing of your pass defense. And Arizona did that basically at will. I mean, there were some nice plays in there, but I mean, the numbers are the numbers, right?
And they also had Arizona a 51-yard touchdown run, 23-yard touchdown run.
Mm-hmm.
So.
How's this going to get better?
You just got to find a way to cut it in half. And that's, I know it's a bye week, so I'm like, all right, what can we do to address Lobo football? What should the focus be? And it's cut those big plays in half. It's like you're still going to give up big plays because you have a ton of holes defensively. I was really disappointed. I thought that front seven was going to be better with that defensive line. The secondary, I was expecting some issues because I didn't think they were going to be able to just immediately be better in the secondary, even with bringing in a player like Noah Avenger, who has had success and a track record of making big-time plays, but not having that pass rush and or ability to stop the run up front makes it huge on everything. So against Montana State, they had 9 rushes of 10 or more yards, 5 passes of 15 or more yards. Arizona, 11 big passing plays, 6 big rushing plays, and you just have to start somewhere, and it's like cut those in half.
Chunk plays were huge, man. A lot in the run game. There was a lot in the passing game. Arizona had 11 big passing plays for 362 yards and 6 big rushing plays for 154 yards. Bronco Mendenhall after the game, or I think it was in Monday's press conference, he said, looking at it, they're I forget the word. Was it addressable or fixable or something along? Right, he used a word like that, right?
Yeah, he was saying they were off. So when they were supposed to be playing press coverage because they weren't bringing people, they were playing off. When they were bringing people, they're supposed to be playing off, they weren't. And you just wonder, like, that many miscommunications. And yet it's early in the season. But what's happening? couple plays is going to happen. It's football.
Right,
You mislined up. They're going to catch you.
You missed a tackle.
But it sounds like there was a lot of, oh, we're bringing pressure up front. The secondary doesn't know what's going on. Oh, the secondary thinks we're bringing pressure. We're not.
Is it? And I don't know the answer. And I've got to watch it a little bit more. And I guess I got to watch it more against somebody who's not Arizona or Auburn, although Montana State's not. And so that's what really concerns you. Is it more scheme or is it more dudes?
I think a lot of it is dudes, and that's why at this point, can you hang on? Because things will be different when you get to conference play.
Okay.
Like the Fresno State game is going to be really tough. You're going to be underdogs there. But when you get to that stretch, Mexico State, Air Force, Wyoming, San Diego State, like those are teams with questions themselves, which if you have an offense that I think is going to be able to create big plays throughout the season, Devin Dampier is that quarterback.
Yeah,
that will give you a chance.
yeah.
We just got to hang on until you get there.
Yeah. So if you define, and you put this on here and it's right, if you define a big rushing play as 10 yards or more and a passing play 15 yards or more, Montana State had 9 big rushing plays for 245 yards and 5 big passing plays for 111. And so what you do well defensively gets lost when you got that, right? Yeah, okay, we played well here and here and here. Yeah, but, right? Arizona, 11 big passing plays for 362 and 6 big rushing plays for 154.
And you just look at the touchdown by Arizona. 69, 78, 51, 40, 23, 36.
Yeah, I mean, that's 6 big plays right there. 69, 78, 51, 40, 23, and 36. Yeah, that's 3 big chunk plays right there. Right? Make a stop, make them work a little bit. And that's just their dudes running by your dudes. And McMillan, when he got loose, so
you're right. It's that there's that element. Like those are probably the most talented duo you're going to see.
Yeah.
But then it's also the fact first possession of the second half. It's 3-point game. You're feeling good. 3rd and 1, and Conley has a 51-yard touchdown.
Is that the one they called it was Bill?
They didn't know which running back was which.
Yeah.
Conley had a 51-yard touchdown. Next possession, first play, after the interception that bounced off Miller's chest.
Yeah.
It's a 40-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
And the game was over.
Yeah, and you're sitting there right there feeling good about yourself going into halftime, and you give up play. You know, you're right, the 3rd and 1, and then you come right back and boink, and it
4 plays, 14 points.
Your quarterback gets hit with an interception, which went on him. Yeah, and that crushes you, right? Because you're probably punching above your weight the whole time. I always wonder this, and it's almost an unfair question to ask, but I'll have the discussion with you. Like going into Arizona, I'm sure every one of those guys got on the plane thinking they could win the game, right? Or did they? I mean, they're 31-point dogs. They're going into the 21st ranked team in the country. Do you think that they just lost to Montana State? Did they all believe they could win? I don't know, but I do believe that middle of the second quarter and going into halftime, at that point, the ones who didn't think they could win were convinced they could win, right? Like, I don't know if did they all tell you the right thing? Yeah, no, we're coming here to win. We're here to win. We're here to win. Right. I'm going to guess not all of them were convinced in their own minds if they'd have been 100% sure that they can go in and win that game. But I do believe that at halftime, those dudes went, damn, dude, we can win this game. And then, to your point, 4 plays, a 3rd and 1 bust, an interception that bounced off a dude's chest, a 50-yard run, boom, boom. I guess that's 3 plays. And all of a sudden, they probably were questioning again because now you're chasing uphill on a really, really, really slippery slope. So and they never got there.
Yeah, it's every individual, on a team understands what they're going up against. But the one thing, and you know this by being around, like those athletes, when they show up, when they take the field, there's a different belief.
Sure.
And I think a lot of it too is Arizona is not a name brand for football. I when we were talking about what Danny Gonzalez said a couple years ago when they played at Texas A&M or LSU, I think those are overwhelming situations where your confidence is shook before you take the field. I don't think you feel that way.
Auburn one of those?
Arizona.
Is Auburn that?
I think, yeah, just because it's the brand, SEC football. Now you're 31-point dogs, and you realize how explosive Arizona is, but I think mentally that's a different feeling than going to SEC country.
When they go into Auburn next week, is it as daunting? So it's more daunting than Arizona, even though Arizona's probably a better football team than Auburn, right?
Yeah, I think that's.
Do you think?
I think that's where you get into the mind game.
It's interesting. Do you agree with me? Arizona's better than Auburn?
Yes.
Okay. But we probably both agree going to Auburn's probably more daunting because what you're saying, because of the tradition, the lore, the SEC, the setting, the football school, everything that Auburn is. If you're New Mexico, do you bring up at all New Mexico State beat them last year?
No, I don't. That's really interesting because I'm not sure kind of yet what Broncos' motivational tactics are.
I don't either, but how would you handle it?
He doesn't come across as that.
But how would you look? You could say, look, man, here's New Mexico State, who we think we're as good as, if not better. We'll find out in 3 weeks. But they went in there and won last year 31-10. Now, the Auburn people who don't know the difference, they think the same damn team's coming in, and hell, ESPN might think the same thing too, the way they run the graphics, right? But I don't know. I would kind of say, look, man, this team's beatable. What happened last year? I don't know. I wouldn't waste a lot of time on it.
Yeah, I don't think I could go there yet.
Okay. All right. I promise you Auburn's using it.
Oh, yeah. They don't. New Mexico State, it's all the same. They don't even know it's in the United States.
Yeah, this team that's coming across the border. Right? They're watching the news. It's those damn guys that are coming across the border to play you. Damn new Mexicans, whatever they are. I know. They don't know the difference. Most fans don't know the difference. All right, 505-246-0610. Wrapping up everything you got to know as you go through your Wednesday when we get back. Still time for you to get in at 505-246-0610 on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Sound.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet.
Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom. Boom!
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay.
Thank you.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Taking you home on a Wednesday morning, the day before the NFL season starts. What are people going to be talking? What do you have to know as you go through your day today? New Mexico State football legend Charlie Johnson has passed away. Charlie passed away last night in Las Cruces, 85 years old, the former Aggie quarterback who led New Mexico State to the Sun Bowl victories in 1959-1960. Was 85 years old, former professor at UNM, played 15 years in the National Football League with the Broncos and the Oilers and the Cardinals, and but considered by many the greatest Aggie of them all. Charlie passed away 85 years old. What else are people going to be talking about? Texans have signed their backup quarterback Davis Mills to a 1-year, $5 million deal. Broncos have re-upped Pat Surtain to a deal that makes him the highest paid defensive back in the history of the National Football League. 4 years, $96 million. And it looks like we're going to get a little Live PGA showdown. Scotty Scheffler and Rory McIlroy against Bryson DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka in a made-for-TV golf match in mid-December. This is Rory McIlroy in Golf Week. Quote, I'm thrilled to partner with Scotty in what promises to be an exciting duel against Bryson and Brooks in Vegas this December. This isn't just a contest between some of golf's major champions. It's an event designed to energize the fans. We're all here to put on a great show and contribute to a goodwill event that brings the best together again. End quote. Brooks and Scotty are very excited to be a part of this unique competition. That's Brooks's people. JJ, you like this one? There's been different iterations of made-for-TV stuff. We watched Tiger and Phil. We watched Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes play golf. Hell, Charles Barkley was in this. Most recent one was McIlroy and Homa against LPGA stars Lexi Thompson and Rose Zhang, which I don't remember. I always kind of enjoy these. I do. But, I mean, you can feed me golf whenever, and I'll probably watch it. Does this one get you a little bit?
I am always here for sporting events, sports entertainment, and I'm on board for this one.
All right. PGA Tour and LIV, as you know, have spent the last 3 years competing to get the best golfers in the world on their side. PGA continues to negotiate with the Saudi Public Investment Fund. That's what finances LIV, about a potential, some sort of a merger. But they're going to be separate entities again in 2025. In fact, the LIV Tour just announced their schedule today, and it's going to start with, they're going to be in Saudi Arabia. So put that on your calendar when it comes out in December. James is in Fresno State's Cherry Blazer game. Jeff, you think Coach Jeff Tedford, who's not there anymore, is going to remind his guys once or twice in the next 2 weeks about how Danny Gonzalez and Lobo football embarrassed the Bulldogs in beautiful Fresno last year? Yeah, Tim Skipper will make sure they understand that. Yeah, when Fresno comes to town in 3 weeks or 4 weeks or whenever it's going to be. 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Yeah. Fresno State's got some work to do before that, though. Fresno State, what do you think of Fresno State? 30-10, they lose at Michigan, JJ, and it was a pick six at the end. So it was, what was it, 23-10. If they score, it's 23-14. All of a sudden, you got a different feel of that game. And instead, Mikey Keene throws the pick six. It goes the other way, and that was it. I don't know if that was more about Fresno State being good or Michigan trying to figure it out. Fresno State will get Sacramento State, then New Mexico State before they get the Lobos. They end the season with UCLA. What do you think of them? Because I thought defensively, they played really, really well against Michigan.
That's one where Fresno State's good. Mm-hmm. If they played this game last year, that's 49-7.
Right, but that was the Michigan team that won the national championship.
That's what I'm saying. That Michigan they have a much lower ceiling this year.
Fair enough.
But I think it does show you that Fresno State is that caliber. That's why I had them above UNLV.
Okay.
Preseason.
Which UNLV looked really nice going to Houston and kicked the crap out of them.
And UNLV handled Houston team that not have an offense whatsoever.
Is it bad that someone said to me, Eddie Nunez is back feeling really, how'd they phrase it? Feels really familiar for Eddie. He's getting his butt kicked in football by Mountain West teams. Is that fair?
No.
Somebody said that to me. It's not fair?
No, I think it's fair.
Yeah. That was his first game as Houston AD.
Look at that contract and my athletic budget and be like, that's cool.
Yeah, that's right. UNLV came in and kicked my butt. Yeah. I think we're going to get a better idea on what Michigan is this week when they play Texas. I think we'll get a really good idea what Michigan is this week. Michigan is a fringe playoff team, don't you believe?
No.
You don't think they're even a fringe playoff team?
I don't.
Okay. All right. I do. What are they ranked now? 10th in the polls that came out? Which I completely agree with you don't mean anything in week 1 or 2 or whatever. But in the new AP, they're 10. In the coaches poll, they're 9. They're going to get Texas, who's 3 in both polls this week. Game day is going to be there. That's the game. That's what you wake up for, right? 10 o'clock on...
Yes, it is.
On whatever
Big
morning.
Noon kickoff.
Dude, the child is so pumped that game day is going to Ann Arbor. I guess the campus is buzzing. Look, they're still riding high on that national championship. They still haven't lost a game. Now they may feel a little bit different after, come 3:30 on Saturday afternoon after
They're
Texas.
still going to win a lot of games. But yes, I think the USC game has changed.
Wow, the USC game becomes really nice, doesn't it?
Because that's when you look to all USC, they're going to get steamrolled by
That's
Michigan.
the 21st.
Nope.
That's in like 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. 21st, right?
That's the 21st.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Because they should be fine. But this, like, it's now or never. Like, if Ohio State can't get Michigan this year, then I don't know what they're supposed to do.
Well, I mean, Ohio State should be loaded. Do you see Ohio State's schedule? With all due respect, man, like, I give it to Michigan for playing Texas. I give it to SC for going out and playing LSU. I give it to Florida State for going out. Like, Ohio State's non-conference schedule is Akron, Western Michigan, and Marshall.
Those schools need paychecks.
I get it. They all need from the same place, though. You're in a good league. You got to play Michigan State and Iowa and Oregon and Penn State and Michigan. I understand that. But don't you respect Texas for going to Michigan?
It's a great football game.
Love it. But in a playoff era where you can lose now, and you might even be able to lose twice. Really? So you're fine with that? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Lobo's getting almost $2 million.
I get it. And that's good that they're going and getting. I don't want the little guy to not get paid.
Ohio State is funding athletic departments across the nation.
So says the guy. Well, never mind. Not you. I was. All right. And then, but then why do we sit here and talk about strength of schedule all the time at the end of the year? And these guys, well, yeah, but they played Iowa and they played Oregon.
Because it was only 4.
So we're not going to have that argument about number 11, 12, 13, and 14 this?
We will. But Ohio State's going to say they're not going to need that argument because they're winning the Big Ten.
Well, they might. All right. Jim Rome Show is next. I heard with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Minons here at 4. Isotopes are in Tacoma after that. We're back with award-winning radio. Tomorrow starting at 7 a.m., Jerry Palm from CBS Sports will be with us then. Adrian, great stuff, man. The polls on the Charlie Johnson video was great. Thank you for that. Big day for you?
Huge day.
All right, go enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Sunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter